Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Mikhail Peters. Today I'm going to talk about something that is concerning my friends more than me. I'm going to be honest, I'm the kind of person where I really wanted to get married when I was 18. Why? I don't know. I think I just wanted to have that kind of special connection with somebody. I think at this point I get a lot of connection from my friends and my baby, and I used to get it from my dogs and whatever. So I I don't really feel that way currently. I really like my lifestyle, and I'm very apprehensive to give that up. So for me, I'm feeling pretty different about that right now. I think because I have the baby, I feel a lot more chill. This hair situation again. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, but anyway, you know, talking to a lot of friends, I have one friend who I know that she's not happy that she's single and she was married before, and she's wants to be alone but is bitter about it. I have another friend who is single and enjoying being single, and she was also with somebody for a very long time, and she doesn't really want to be single anymore. But the whole thing is, it's pretty difficult to actually find people. And I know that people think that, okay, with the internet you have more options and that's cool, but actually it's very detrimental for humans to have options greater than seven or something. So the idea of having unlimited options, you can go fact check that. It's like analysis paralysis, and nobody can really make a decision. And then it's the fact that you think you have unlimited decisions, it's the whole paradox of choice thing. And I think that this is just becoming a very pertinent issue because, I complain about this a lot, how it's I worry a lot about the parasocial relationships that people are developing with me on this channel, right? I'm not people feel like I'm their friend or something, and it's I don't really know you guys. You know me, but I don't know you, right? This is more me talking at you, and I'm a lecturer than it is really we're friends. But at the same time, I'm talking about my life, so it creates the sense of closeness. And that's cool and stuff, but at the same time I do try to, again, always encourage people to go out there and make real relationships with people. So there are a lot of reasons why I think, getting with the right person is becoming very difficult. Some of these issues are related to yeah, the internet. Okay, a lot of it is just dopamine. Okay, it's being in a relationship can provide you with some dopamine. We also have so many other distractions these days, mostly in the form of technology, that also provide us with dopamine, that we're not really seeking dopamine out in the same ways we used to. So my point is, people are less motivated to find somebody to be with, and they don't exactly know why. And honestly, it's almost like a neurochemistry thing where you're just replacing something with something else because it suits that need. Again, watching this channel is somehow substituting a need for somebody being in a real relationship. And I think that's strange, but it is what it is. I am substituting that need with going out and meeting real people. So I don't know. I think it's getting challenging, and I had made a very ranty video about dating advice for men, and I'm not really gonna, the goal of this is not to rehash that. I think the goal of this is just to acknowledge that we're in a very difficult situation these days with everything that's going on. I think there's also an economic element to it. There's a whole thing where it's single family homes, which I complain about a lot, but it's a lot of people don't really want to have kids until they have a single family home. And it's very difficult to get single family homes, so people are just sort of delaying this. You could just try my approach where you get pregnant and then gotta go figure it all out. Just kidding. I do not recommend that to anybody. It was the most traumatic experience of my life. And I had some other traumatic experiences. I wanted to make a video about growing up in essentially the ghetto, but that will be a later video because I think that could be funny. I don't know if funny is the right word, but it could be interesting. And people are gonna be like, this white girl, what is she talking about? I will tell you. Okay, anyway, so I think things are getting more complicated. I'm thinking about whether I should tell the story or whether it's going to make somebody upset. But let's just say in a past relationship, this is before I was dating this guy. He was talking to my grandmother and was what was it like dating when you were younger? She's I don't know, I really only she got married at 18, okay? And then later I brought this back up to her. She's oh no, I had boyfriends up until then. I'm how? What, were you 13 with a boyfriend? And she's yeah, I was. And I was you can't even get married at 13. What are you doing? I actually remember when I was younger and telling my dad I wanted to start dating at 13, and he's that's too young. And I was okay, what about 16? And then I remember 13 came and went, 16 came and went, and then I was okay, yeah, this is actually not going to happen. I think it's just like I don't really like most people, and I'm really at this point where it's like I rather be completely by myself for the rest of my life than just be with somebody I don't like. I think a lot of people feel that way, and I think that's fine. And I guess the way to actually find somebody you like is you have to go talk to a lot of different people. I think the other thing to keep in mind is like the mere exposure effect, which basically stipulates that when you're exposed to something more often, you're going to like it. And I think the issue with like meeting people online is like the exposure threshold is very low. So, when I kind of think about like a lot of the people I was interested in, it was sort of a gradual thing. Like, the very specific examples, like the father of my child, when I initially met him, I think I thought he was annoying, which you hear that story a lot too. It doesn't mean that everybody who I think is annoying is eventually going to become the father of my child, but the point is, like, you can be surprised later on at who you actually end up liking. So, I don't know. The point of this is it's getting pretty tricky out there. The anarchist side of me is like, whatever, people will just stop reproducing and the world will like collapse and burn. It's probably not really going to happen that quickly, but it's one theory. I don't know. So I guess what is the point of this? It's just maybe to provide from the female perspective, because I know I need to check if this is still the case. You know what? Let's casually do that right now. Let me see. My audience is, I can look at this by demographic. Hold on. I haven't looked at this in a while, and to my despair, it has gotten worse. My demographic of viewers is now 8.4% female and 91.6% male. I had a baby, and people still are watching me who are men? I don't understand this. Like, what? And most of them are still 35 to 64-year-old men. Are you people retired, or like what is so appealing about this? Please tell me. And I actually get more views in English than in Russian. And actually, most people watching my channel are now from Finland instead of Russia. And some are from the US. Okay, pretty interesting. Cool. Haven't looked at that in a while, like I said. So, anyway, my point... What is my point with this? Okay. From the female perspective, it is very, like, difficult because women are naturally pickier. Why are women naturally pickier? Well, so that they don't get stuck alone with a child like Exhibit A here. So... I know that I chose wrong in terms of that, but I have, like, a very wonderful baby who is, like, beautiful and very healthy and very social, and everybody loves her, and she's, like, the most popular baby in the world. Maybe not, but it feels that way to me. And, like, so at the very least, I at least chose well in terms of, like, the baby came out very nice. Now, in terms of resource management, this is a separate issue, but at least I'm good enough at doing that myself. But anyway, like, what I'm trying to get you to understand is that, like, women are going to inherently feel unsafe around men, because you need to keep in mind that men are physically superior to women, and women can get stuck alone with a child, and I'm here to tell you that that sucks, and it's not an experience I wish on anybody. At all, including myself, but alas, we are where we are today, and I find no point in just being upset about it, so, let's just accept the fact that having a baby is, like, pretty cool still. So, yeah, I guess, again, what is the point of this? Dating has gotten really hard. I don't really exactly know how to make it better for people. There was a time, I'll be honest about this, there was a time I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to, like, find a replacement father for my child, and then I kind of realized that that was stupid, and that, you don't really have control over who you're going to meet or who's going to like you or who you're going to like, so there's kind of just, like, no point in worrying about things that you have no control over, including, like, whether you're going to serendipitously find your future husband or wife. Now, you can do things that increase the odds. You can go on online dates, you can... I must smell. You can find people, like, you can, like, really put yourself out there. But at the end of the day, like, I think it's, like, that kind of leads to, in my opinion, a certain type of, like, desperation that is not attractive, and that's kind of a problem. So I don't know that that's really the answer. But yeah, so anyway, for myself, I was getting really stressed out about this, like, circa the whole time I was pregnant, and then probably up until, like, very recently, like, probably the last, the last like 2 months I've been like just very happy in general, and I don't really know why, and because I'm not working. That does not mean you should be unemployed forever. That is not the moral of the story. It just means maybe I was working the wrong job. I don't know. But I thought I liked my job. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's getting hard for everybody, and maybe this is just imploring you to kind of be more open and not shut things down so quickly. It's okay to have non-negotiables and stuff, but you also have to be realistic. Like, I hate to say this, but like, I'm going to speak to this in psychology terms. There's actually some video that we watched in psychology class where it's like people tend to like get with people who are similar levels of attractiveness with them. You should have an idea of how attractive you are based on how much attention you've gotten throughout your life. And generally, you should also go for somebody in that category. Now, maybe this sounds very rude, but I'm just being honest. If anybody actually, like, wants advice. And be nice to people, and do not make women think that you want them just for their bodies, because that doesn't make a woman feel safe. I don't know. A lot of this feels very juvenile and stupid, even saying any of this, and I'm not actually here to fix this problem. I'm just here to, like, relay, the sympathies of my fellow female single counterparts. And I feel like I'm the only weirdo who's currently, like, I am just, like, high on life and, like, love being by myself and love having all my free time and love having, like, all this ability to, like, work on my startup and exercise and spend time with my baby, who's currently with my mom, and I have to go get her in a second. And, yeah, I'm really enjoying doing the startup thing. Like, maybe I'm just supposed to be an entrepreneur. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, that's all cool and stuff. But yeah, so dating sucks these days. The world is just continuing to suck more in certain ways and suck less in other ways. This is pretty normal. And maybe you just need to put yourself out there more and find some hobby groups, and that's probably what I'm going to need to do at some point. But for now, I'm pretty happy the way things are, so that's just not really gonna happen for me. Yeah, I'm trying to think about whether I feel like talking about this, but essentially, if there is a chance that my child's father is going to be involved, then I extra do not need to search for a replacement father. So, I give up. I'm aborting that mission for now. Yeah, so, you can be casually looking, but not really seriously looking, and that's fine too, and that's honestly probably the best approach, because then you're gonna end up probably in a healthier relationship. Like, there are a lot of people who are in relationships, it doesn't mean that it's, like, healthy. And if you're okay with that, that's good for you, but at this point in my life, couldn't be me. Don't care. Yeah, so, I don't know, just, like, work on yourself and stuff, but also, like, take some risks. If somebody says no, don't take it personally. Just think of it as the 500 job applications you have to send out. That's what I tell people. Do you think I remember which jobs I applied to? No. Do you think I care if I get a rejection email? No, I don't even remember applying to the job. Like, people are like, oh, I wish they would tell you. And I'm like, I do not keep track. I don't care. Whatever. Okay, so I guess that's everything. I don't even really know what the point is. The point of this video is modern dating sucks, and I don't have a solution, but I'm here to let you know that even somebody like me with 10K followers on YouTube still finds this to be completely ridiculous. Even though I used to get a lot of fan mail from people being like, Mikaela, I want to personally talk to you. You're the woman of my dreams, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know you, and this just doesn't seem like a safe situation, so no, sorry. The only people I actually connect with are people who like business kind of things, but they have to be legit, because I don't have time for that nonsense. All right, until next time, bye.